Hey, Morgan.
Yeah.
Come here.
Yes.
Okay, I'm recording. I'm going to ask you this question on video.
Okay.
Do you think that me starting jiu-jitsu at 46 is going through a midlife crisis?
No.
Why not?
Well, what defines someone going through a midlife crisis? So
I saw something online where they said that men who get into jiu-jitsu in their late 40s or 50s are going through a midlife crisis. I just wanted to know if you thought that that's what this was.
No. I think if it's compounded with a lot of other maybe huge changes, yeah, I think that's what makes people do, like, say the whole thing of midlife crisis, that men go through. But because I don't know what that says about me, that, there are things that I have on my bucket list. Clearly you paid for some classes that I wanted to take, last summer just to try it. And I know I'm not over 40. I was 34 at the time, but what does that say about me? Does that mean that I want to go
Could be.
strip for money? Do I want to go blah, blah, blah? I'm just saying.
All right. Thank you. You can go. Thank you. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy, Damian Bunting. I'm going to welcome you to today's episode of my white belt journey. So I was online yesterday and I saw this crazy video where this guy was talking about men in their mid to late 40s, early 50s, going through a midlife crisis. I was listening to everything that he was saying, all the information that he was giving. And then he said something that really caught my attention and it piqued my interest. He said, yeah, guys who are going through midlife crisis, they do all kinds of crazy things. They start to skydive, they buy, sports cars, they spend money extravagantly. A lot of these guys are getting into mixed martial arts and jiu-jitsu. And I was like, what? Right. So I wanted to ask my wife today what she thought, but then I wanted to also kind of give a counterpoint to this and talk about the 5 reasons why I have gotten into Brazilian jiu-jitsu at this point in time in my life. For me, there's 5 things that have been highly important to me on this journey. And again, this is a new journey for me. It's got to be, number 1, better shape. During the pandemic, I allowed myself to put on about 70 to 80 pounds. I mean, from 2020 to 2023, I just, packed on weight. I developed a drinking habit, a lot of things that were detrimental to my health. I made a video the other day talking about 2 injuries that I suffered going to jiu-jitsu. I've got a separated shoulder, I have a sprained knee, and a lot of people who've watched my journey are like, I knew it. You're going to get hurt. You're too old to be doing this. You're too old to be putting yourself through that. We don't really think about the health issues that come along with just getting older or living a sedentary lifestyle. I wasn't healthy when I was just going to work and coming home and eating chips and drinking. I had diabetes. I was suffering from neuropathy, issues of joint impingements, all kinds of problems from just being sedentary. So the fact that I have suffered a couple of injuries from moving around, that doesn't mean that issue was mitigated by not being physical or being active at all. Quite the contrary. As I've done this journey over the past 7 weeks, I've actually lost 20 pounds. I've stopped drinking. I've changed my diet. There have been many more positive benefits to this lifestyle in terms of me getting in better shape than there have been in terms of the injuries that I've suffered. So for me, that's got to be one of the most important beneficial things that's happened in the past couple of weeks. Now, for those of you who don't know, I work as a private security guard in downtown Portland. I work in an area of town that's inundated with homeless people that are suffering from mental illness, people that are highly addicted to drugs. I work in an environment where it's not uncommon that I get into altercations, if not daily, at least weekly. And for me, one of the most important aspects of getting into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is just to be confident if I happen to get into an altercation. Now, I work as an armed officer, so I have anything from pepper spray to a taser to a baton, all the way up to a firearm. However, I work in an area of the country that is extremely understanding and advocating for nefarious lifestyles. If you are addicted to drugs, if you're homeless, if you commit crimes of any sort of type, there's a large aspect of population that kind of advocates and minimizes the effects of people who live that type of lifestyle. Even in a protective capacity, if I were to actually utilize any of the tools that I have, it's more likely that I would get in trouble than the offender. Being able to protect myself, or at the very least have confidence that I can protect myself without having to utilize any of those tools, is very important to not only my survival, but my ability to not find myself in litigious situations. I don't think that most people who are living in today's society understand the importance of being comfortable and confident in your ability to protect yourself. Knowing and understanding what my abilities are and what my abilities aren't keep me from getting myself involved in situations where there could potentially be violence. And if violence does happen to find its way to my doorstep, I'm more comfortable handling that in a hands-on situation as opposing to having to go to more lethal means. For me, number 3 is going to be stress relief. One of the biggest issues that people in my age group, 46 to, beyond, is the real potential to suffer a heart attack. In 2023, I suffered what I thought was a heart attack. I actually ended up passing out on my way to work, ended up in the hospital with an aortic catheter where the doctors were checking for a widowmaker. It turned out to be something that was a little bit more minor, but the issue of my potential for heart disease, potential for heart attack, it was there. The understanding that I needed to change my diet, I needed to stop drinking, I needed to start exercising. It was very, very much made apparent to me that if I didn't make some serious changes, that there was going to be problems. I have a very stressful job, but on top of that, living in Portland, it's just kind of a stressful life. I've often said that unfortunately, I have never had one day of peace living in my home. The day that I purchased my home, I was given the keys and told, hey, by the way, some squatters had kicked your door in last week and someone had to come over here with a firearm and get them out. The reality of living in this environment, in this area, it's very, very stressful. So being able to go into a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym, being able to work out, being able to be in this environment where I can get some of that stress out, some stress relief, it's been very, very helpful to me. And more than likely, in a lot of ways, it's probably kept me from suffering a heart attack over these last couple of months. I would say the 4th thing is community and friendship. If you're watching this video and you're in your 20s, you probably have a social circle of friends and acquaintances and people that you hang out with. As you get older, your priorities in life, they start to shift. The desire to go out and be in an environment where, potential bad things can happen, or you have to deal with just, ignorant, stupid people. As you get older, your tolerance for that starts to wane. And so you start to enjoy being at home and enjoy being away from people a little bit more than you did while you were in your 20s. It's very important for people, however, to still have a community. And I think that it's easier to find a community with people that have a shared passion for something, a shared desire for something. And when you join a gym, whether it's a fitness gym or a martial arts studio, jiu-jitsu school, you're around people of like mind, even if only for that hour or 2 hours that you're there. Number 5, it kind of piggybacks off of number 4. We're in a time right now where everything is political. There's a lot of things that divide us across the board, and it's very, very hard now in 2024 for people to get along and find a common environment or interest. It's one of the last bastions of society where people are judged based on their ability. They're judged based on what they're bringing to the floor at that point in time. It's one of the few places where you can really shut things off, shut things out, and not have to deal with the problems of society while you're there. This is something that's so important to not just men, but I really feel that kids, that women, that people of all, ilk should find an environment where they can connect and they can disconnect from everything that's happening outside in today's world and society. Now, guys, listen, I'm very interested to hear what you think. Do you think that when people are getting into these sports, when we're talking specifically about jiu-jitsu, over the age of 40, approaching 50, into their 50s or 60s, is this an effort to reclaim youth? Are they trying to find something or latch on to something that's already passed them by? Or is it a positive opportunity for them to get in shape, build camaraderie, find a community? What are your thoughts? I would love to hear what you guys think about this topic. Please share your comments down below. And if you find value in what we're doing, please like, share, and subscribe and be a part of this platform and community that we're building. All right. Hey guys, thanks a lot for coming. Be great.